The last thing that we need to do is put the chamfered edges on these contours here. And since this is not a 2D contour because of the Z height changing, we need to use a different operation style. So under the Cam tab, under 2D milling, there is something called trace. And so we're going to trace those edges. And the trace allows you to follow a path that has this changing Z height. So I'm going to change the tool from the ball end to a chamfer mill. I think it's the, let's see, right here, number 8. Then I'm going to select these bottom edges here. Because the chamfer is already modeled, you want to check the bottom edge there and then just set the chamfer width equal to 0 because the chamfer is already set by the geometry that you select. Whereas if you wanted to put a chamfer here, you would need to choose a chamfer width, the size of the chamfer that you want, because it is not modeled. But because these are already modeled, you set the chamfer width equal to 0, like we did in setup 1. So making sure that we have everything selected there. The next thing that I'm going to select is on the height, there's nothing to change because it's just going to follow that path. Here, there's a couple things that we need to change. On the chamfer width, we'll keep that at 0, but we do need the tip offset because the bottom of the chamfer mill is flat, and so we need to be offset slightly. But we also have to make sure that we have a compensation. Right now, there's a center compensation, and we want to be on this side of the line or think about the tool moving in this counterclockwise path here for the circle. We need to be on the left side of that arrow. Same thing here, we need to be on the left side of that arrow. So instead of center compensation, we're going to go left. And then I think that's all we need. These are kind of weird. I want to double check that we don't have some weird selection here. I'm not sure why those arrows are pointing that way. It might have been because of where I selected, but we'll see if that works for us. I think that's the last thing we need to do. So I'm going to hit OK, and we'll see how this looks on the trace. Everything looks good. What I'd like to do is just simulate and make sure that we're not cutting too deep on that chamfer. So I'll pause it. It's kind of hard to see because we are moving in 3 dimensions as we're following this path down, but it looks good that we're making that chamfer just right. So that's it. So now we have these 2 protected operations, and then we have the face, which I'll generate just the face, and then that is all the tool paths for setup 2. Once that's run, we would unscrew the sprocket, the finished sprocket, from the fixture, and we're done with the part.